everyone, I'm Shannon Kantner, and you are now entering the School Zone, a CMSD-TV program where we sit down with our fearless leaders across the district, our principals, to learn more about them and their school. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Irene Javier, the principal at Lincoln West High School. Thank you so much for joining us.
Our pleasure, bienvenidos from Lincoln West.
I love it. I barely know any other languages, but we'll get into that and what your school can offer our students.
Absolutely.
So let's just start with the basics for people who might not know a lot about Lincoln West out there. Location.
We are located in the near west side of Cleveland. We pride ourselves to be the home of the most, if not the most diverse school in the city, but one of the most diverse high school in the state of Ohio. We are actually servicing students coming from 51 nationalities and 42 spoken languages as of today, which may add one as I come back to the building. But yes, we pride ourselves to be the Center for International Studies, as we are part of the Asia Society International Studies Schools Network. And this is what we call ourselves. We are the United Nations of Cleveland.
I love it. Who knew we had the UN right here in Cleveland?
We do. We own it.
Awesome. All right. So location, we already heard a little bit more about it. Roughly how many students are in your school?
We are servicing about 780 students. We actually increase our enrollment to note of 120 more from the beginning of school to date.
Wow.
And that was one of our goals, is to attract more students and families to join our district, to join our high schools.
Absolutely. Okay. School colors?
Red, white, and blue.
Oh, patriotic. I love it. Okay. School mascot?
The Wolverines will always be.
I probably shouldn't share this, but I grew up in Michigan and went to the University of Michigan. It's hard to say that in Ohio sometimes, but I'm a proud Wolverine. So
well, I won't boo you this time.
Thank you. All right, school motto or slogan.
We are actually the Center of International Studies. We pride ourselves to educate our children ready for the international workforce.
Perfect. All right. So now that we've learned a little bit more about that, we have all the basics out of the way. We heard some about what makes your school unique, but tell me more.
Well, not only we house curriculum that are centered around international studies schools, we are also priding ourselves to educate children that can investigate the world, can take action, that investigate in a way that they know what's going on in the city, but also want to explore what's going on outside. And to add to that is that we just completed the 4th year sending our children to the Dominican Republic, wherein they do service learning. It is imperative for us to teach our children, although we do have the level of disadvantages in the city, but we want them to show pride with their humble upbringings and be able to give back to the community and appreciate what they have, and of course, rise above the circumstances that surround us and be great individuals and members of the community, and come back to Cleveland, come back to the high school and share their great experience when they leave the city. And in addition to that is we want our children to communicate and recognize perspectives, theirs and others. And this is how we say that, yes, we are also the center of the community wraparound model, wherein we want to educate the whole child, that we want them to be academically ready for any post-secondary option that they would like to land in after they graduate, but also human beings that are caring and also not care for them to self, but also do something good for others.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like a lot of community involvement and getting your students out there and engaged. Talk to me about some of those community partners. I know we have the Friends of Lincoln West.
I cannot be more happier than sharing our Friends of Lincoln West. Finally, we have friends that I can say, yes, they are my friends and they will forever be our friends. For our viewers who are interested to know who are the Friends of Lincoln West, they are community members. They are not part of the school groups, but they can range from business individuals or owners, any member of the community that really show genuine interest in what we do, genuine interest to the kids that we service. I think this is just one of the things that it's a great payback, that we know that we're doing the best we can for the children, but also the community is really and truly investing in our children. But of course, Lincoln West is an investment school. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that we really received the last 2 years. We have community members coming to the building, sharing great things to the community, and of course willing to really do the legwork to make it a great learning environment for the children.
And I know you have also strong partnerships with Metro Health and
That is
Esperanza.
correct.
If you want to talk to me
Yes.
a little bit more about them.
Well, Metro Health and Esperanza, we almost say that we live in the high school. They live in the high school. The programs that they bring to the high school are really impacting our children in the areas of academics, making sure that our children are getting intervention in terms of getting them ready for ACTs, for the past Ohio graduation test, making sure that they help us visit homes for those children that were sick and have not been in school, get them to school. It is difficult for us to educate our children if they're not in our building, but one of the things that have improved because of the help of the Friends of Lincoln West is also our home visits, bringing those children that have missed more than 11 days of school to the building, and of course, catch up with the credits, and of course, soon see them graduate.
Wow. So within the school, obviously, we've talked a lot about all of your students. How many different languages do you think are spoken in your
I
school?
said 42.
Okay, 42 languages. A diverse population there. How does that impact your students' education and create this environment? It's a very special environment for them.
I think we can't be any luckier or we're just blessed because we look at the language, not much of a growing ELL population that will have challenges, but more looking at it as a gift, the gift of tongue, wherein we have children, we educate children coming from diverse backgrounds that can bring a wealth of experience, not only language, but cultural. And of course, that the experience itself will make the learning environment flourish. The exchange of conversation leading to higher level thinking wherein kids will see themselves that life does not revolve around the zip code 44109, but there is actually life across the bridge. You go east side, and the east side is actually not out of town. That we explore the world around us that is quite close, but also the opportunity to go outside, whether it's a state travel, a national travel, but of course we're exploring the international venue we're in. Actually, one of our students just came back from China from a 3-week Confucius experience. So she was one of the 3 Cleveland Metropolitan School CMSD students and one of the 47 across the nation granted by the U.S. Department of State a full scholarship to have that experience.
Wow. So there's that. You mentioned the Dominican every
Yes.
year, right? What other kind of special initiatives or programs, school clubs, I don't know, that you guys have there?
So of course, with technology right now, we take advantage of what the Skype can bring to us. So we have a pen pal system, and part of that is we have developed classes that are not only academically focused but infused with the cultural and international component to it. This year, we started our junior and sophomore seminars, which will greatly increase our capacity for the taking action component. And for some of us that are not too familiar with what we call always talking about taking action is actually our service learning project. It is important for us that every single child that we graduate from Lincoln West has the sense of giving back to the community, maybe just for the small cultural niche where they belong, or maybe just even in a small scale wherein they can be community builders or not community builders, and of course those individuals wherein our special ed students can also look up onto.
I can tell your enthusiasm for the school and what it stands for and what it offers students. What is it like to be the principal there in the UN of Cleveland, as you described it?
Well, I will not trade this for anything else. I only know Lincoln West. It's my home, it's my town. I came from the Los Angeles Schools District, and I always tell them, I move for them, but I move actually for the weather. But I will not trade the job for anything else. It's actually a self-worth that you get. And one of the things is that I do receive such sense of pleasure and accomplishment by servicing children I would not describe as disadvantaged, but children that do have a unique challenges. But I do sympathize with them and share their experience, because I grew up as a poor kid, and I take advantage of the great people around me. That's why my best advice to my students is that surround yourself with good people and you will not go wrong. And always look back and remember your humble upbringing.
That is very good advice, and it's no wonder I've had the chance to interview and speak with some students at Lincoln West, and something that they always say is that it feels like a family there and everyone feels so accepted. How do you do that in a place with so many different cultures and languages being spoken? How do you accomplish that?
Well, I think the culture shifts in a way we are so intentional, and it's always within us that we are also mindful of the individuals that we select to join our organization. People that reflect the same diversity. If I say 42 nationalities, or however I intermix that, the staff that we have in the building share the same sentiments with our children, represent the ethnic backgrounds, the cultural backgrounds that with us. So there is always one adult advocate that will truly and genuinely show kindness to our children, because they do understand what is it like to be an immigrant, what is it like to be a special needs student, what is it like to be poor, what is it like to live in the neighborhood, and attach themselves that we are actually the neighborhood. We define the West 25th Street, because that's what makes us really the best in the West.
And it sounds like you're celebrating that day in and day out at the school, but I know one of the highlights of the year is the International Festival, right?
That is correct. Right? It is coming up soon in October.
Okay, so tell me about it. What can people expect?
It is a parade of colors. It's Parade of Nation. It is actually a 3-day event. We still yet to set the event with the performances and such, but it's a week-long celebration, culminating with the 3 major events. The first event is actually our performances. You have to see our performances. Each culture will be represented. There will be a parade of flags. We also have our International Food Festival, which is the second day of the festivity.
My favorite
and the last one is, of course, the cultural exhibits. So we look forward that people that will get to see the show also look forward to visiting us. And we are delighted to have community members visit us, and of course, be our ambassador and bring the good news to the community that yes, we are nothing but people that would like to bring the best education and educational experience to the kids.
Is there anything else you would want the community to know about Lincoln West maybe we didn't cover? You definitely just, final thing about them?
We would like them to visit. We would like the high school to be the center of the community, wherein every single one is welcome. We would love to host community events as well, cultural events and such. They should not go elsewhere, but make the high school the pillar of the community and spread the good news.
I like that.
Thank you.
This might be a similar question, but what is your vision for the school or the community, maybe all of the above?
It is our vision to graduate students that are career and post-secondary ready. And we're talking about, we would like them to be able to choose within the many options we have, but we want them to leave the 4 walls of our building saying, I'm a proud Wolverine, and I will come back and will touch more of the lives of the Wolverines. We want them to always bring the Wolverine pride and do great. I always say to our children, the challenges that we have in the high school, just like when you get married, I'm married to my children, through thick and thin, to witness our health, illness and whatever it takes, but till graduation do we part.
I like that.
So
now I don't want to part. Do we have to end this? This is wonderful. I was going to ask you one more question before we do part. We've covered a lot, but what has been your favorite moment so far, either this year or as principal, if you can possibly pick one out in all your time there? That's why I was trying to narrow it down just to this school year. If you can just pick out a favorite moment, something that's happened recently.
Well, every year I think the highlight of my year's graduation is wherein I know we did well because I did promise the family, your child will graduate. That's what the family wants to hear from us. And I commit in unwaveringly. I tell the family, your child will graduate because that's what we want.
Wonderful. What a perfect note to end on. Thank you so much.
My
for being
pleasure.
here,
Thank
Irene.
you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank you.
having us.
Absolutely. Thank you. And we hope
Thank
you
you.
tune in for the next edition of School of Thought. That's it for now.